Hello, everyone. I just wanted to make a short, rambly video about my experience in theater academy that I've just been through. Um, it's been in it's a Russian-speaking theater academy in Bayern, Bavaria, uh, and it was quite mind-blowing and almost, I guess I can say, life-changing experience for me. Um, I just randomly found out about it. I was invited by, I can say, a friend of a friend of a friend, and I wasn't even sure like how if I need it, if I want it, but I realized that I don't have any plans for that week, and well, actually, I did have some plans for that week, but they just this academy. When I thought about it, it sounded really, really good. And generally, in theater, you have to learn, you have to evolve all the time. Uh, Unless you wanna become, otherwise you risk becoming stagnant and boring. And I feel in art, you just cannot do that. So after thinking for a while, I accepted the invitation and I went. And at first day, I think, just one day, I still felt a little bit anxious because, well, I'm deep inside, I'm an anxious introvert who also forgets to close windows for his ASMR videos recording. But I hope just these sounds of cars passing usually did not bother me too much. They almost like added to ASMR feeling. Hopefully nobody will be screaming too loud outside in the kids' playground where I live. Anyways, I apologize for that. Anyways, getting back to the topic. I when I just arrived, there's been like 30 something, almost 40 people, and I knew maybe like two of them. And this is the academy for everyone from Czech Republic and Germany. So most of the people there were Russian speakers or like Slavic language speakers, some Belarusians, some Ukrainians that are living in Germany. And I'm sorry, I will just close the window. A bit too much. Okay, I apologize. Um, So I didn't know anyone, and usually in such situations, when I'm in a huge company of people that I don't know, I become really anxious and closed off. But what I love theater for is that there is no space to, there is no option to become to stay closed off to the world. You just have to open up through trainings, through master classes, workshops. You just have to participate, and when you are in the midst of doing that, it's like quite impossible to just like to not meet new people, to and meet them on quite a deep level as well. So the first day, maybe not maybe, but the first day was the only day when I went to sleep like kind of on time, let's say. And the other 7 days I was sleeping like 2 hours on average. When we just arrived, we were separated into four um, like workshops, I guess, with four different teachers. One class was like classical drama class. One class was performance art. The other one was physical theater, and the one that I went to was dance theater. But honestly, none of them, like if you would ask me before the academy what I imagine would be going on in the class, I would never guess. It was so influenced by the specific directors or coaches that were leading the classes. Um, and I will be mostly mentioning, well, no, I think I will briefly mention all of them. And even not even sure where to start, honestly. Oh, I know. Um, Sorry, I mentioned that this is gonna be rambly. Anyways, because also I feel a few points are not really mine to bring out to public. Because yeah, theater, actual real theater, sometimes often deals with very deep and almost intimate topics and subjects from one's life, because that's, well, how else you will become, how else you will be real on stage if you have like many closed off and taboos um, in yourself. I don't know if I'm if I'm comprehensible enough. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, for the first like 2 or 3 days, I was a little bit disappointed with our dance classes because they were really interesting. They were really fulfilling, and um, like I really feel that I made a step forward as an actor, as a as an artist during those classes. But they were a bit less physically and mentally demanding that I felt all the other classes were. Because, for example, on our first day, we were doing a thing called, well, we came up with a name for it, is anatomical massage. Because it's not really a massage, but you are massaging, or the partner massages you in the way that one thing is that you have to be almost asleep, and the one doing the massage have to not wake you up. So all the movements are very, very slow, very meticulous. Is that the word? Very careful. And you're not exactly massaging the other person, but you are learning how the body works. You're both learning. So, for example, there is a thing where a partner picks up your foot and just very carefully and slowly moves it around. And both of you study how your joints and muscles, how all of that works. It's really really fascinating when you are doing it very slowly and very precisely, because both the uh, massager and the one that is receiving the massage, from different points of view, can learn a lot about the human body and how exactly it works, and their own body mainly, because that's just not how we usually think about that, and that's how we usually feel our bodies. Like 90% of the time, or like 99% of the time, we just do things that we're used to doing, and we don't really think about how it all works. And when you take your time and stop to actually study it, it's just fascinating. But getting back to what I was saying, it felt on this first day we were all like, we had this really nice and really interesting massages, and all the other classes were like had a lot of homework. Performance class was just crying most of their class, because they were dealing with the topic of trauma, and I've had this feeling that, huh, why, like, why is our teacher treating us so like lightly, and why are we not sweating both with our bodies and minds? And I was a bit almost disappointed, but then like closer to the end of the shift, um, I realized that that was my experience talking, because all my previous steps forward in theater, I always like were associated with a lot of physical and mental sweating, let's say, really hard concentration, and just overcoming yourself. And this one was not as much. But then, closer to the end of the shift, I realized that it is still developing me. It is still super useful and super, yeah, it's just great for me. And I felt really thankful to our teacher, to our like coach. I don't know what's the right word in English for that. Um, for that feeling that I am not even sure if I ever knew that you can develop without like overcoming things. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, definitely. Both ways works, and honestly, in my life, mostly the more demanding, almost aggressive approach to learning theater worked more, or like ruthless, I guess is the word, not aggressive. But it's great to realize that it's not necessary. And also in my theater that I'm leading here in Prague, I'm not as demanding, and sometimes I'm anxious because of that, because I feel that maybe I'm not giving enough to my students, because I'm just careful with their. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not even a professional theater director, so I'm really careful to not like overdo things, to not like break somebody's passion for art. So it was great for me to realize that other approaches exist and they work as well. Not realize, but I guess remember that. Yeah. Um, and other things, I think I don't feel that I'm in the right to speak too much about other classes, because that's not my experience. I only heard a little bit of what they did. Um, so we were there for 8 days, and for like 7 days we were preparing our performances. But performances did not matter as much as the process. Um, and yeah, the last 2 days we've had all the performances of all the groups, and they were all really, really great, completely different, uh, ranging the whole spectrum of emotions, from like deep depression and trauma, working with trauma, to just really, really good comedy. Um, and there were also residents there that were doing uh, really amazing, like uh, light and shadow theater about black holes. It was just so cool. Also, it was like the last performance before us leaving, and it was just like so heartwarming, so beautiful. Um, and yeah, other thing is that we've had this amazing lady feeding us. She's a theater director herself, but she was saying that she just loves receiving praise for her cooking so much that she enjoys it a lot as well. And she was calling it her kitchen magic. And like at first I was like, yeah, cool, got it. But then it is a kitchen magic, because I never ate so much and so well in my life. She's just a mind-blowing cook. Like, for example, once she mentioned that there will be a kroshka. I don't know how to. It's a cold soup, very popular in Slavic countries. And I was like, yeah, that's one of my favorite dishes. But then when we arrived on that day, we've had 4 different options of okroshka, and she always had vegetarian and vegan options. So there was always like at least 4 or 5 dishes every day, and they were all so good, and you could just feel her love in those dishes. And she's also such an amazing person. Like, just as a funny anecdote, apart from theater and cooking, she's doing like yachting regattas. She's playing saxophone and smokes weed. Just like completely random and completely like absolutely unexpected traits. I could just talk about her for an hour probably. Um, we were also living pretty much in a castle in this really small village in Germany, which also like definitely helps with a little bit with the artistic atmosphere. But yeah, the main thing was the people. Like, when you have almost 40 creative souls in one place for a week, just living, breathing, eating, and everything else together, it's just so fulfilling. It's so amazing and so inspiring. It was such a great experience to me. And oh yeah, and to to close off my thought about sleeping for 2 hours, Nastya, that cook lady, or this amazing lady, mentioned that yeah, that this is normal. That like, I was wondering how can I even survive on 2 hours of sleep, because I realized that on like day 5 or 6 that I slept literally 2 hours per day maximum, not even average. I was like, how am I still alive? And she just completely, as a matter of fact, said that, well, all of us are giving a lot of energy in this academy, but since all of us are is doing that, nobody's just a vampire that is sucking off the energy. We have this such a intense and powerful energy exchange that keeps you going, keeps you energized for all the activities, even if you don't sleep at all. And honestly, I believe that that's exactly how it worked. Um, I have so much more to tell you, but I'm afraid I'll have to go. I just realized, not just realized, but I knew that I'll have to go soon, and now I'm thinking that I told you maybe like a half of what I was planning to say. But anyways, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. And oh, somebody actually asked me for a Q&A in one of my previous videos. So if you have more questions, maybe I'll compile them and do a Q&A video as